What's going on, you guys? I am back with another live stream. So, this podcast, I would like to talk about doing what's unpopular for your dreams. And the reason why I want to do this topic is because I know so many people, so many of you guys, you have goals, you have plans, you have um, things you want to accomplish, and one of your biggest obstacles you face is approval from other people, because you want to tell your friends, you want to tell your family that, oh my God, I got this idea. I want to be a dancer. I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to be a teacher, or going to be a scientist, or whatever it is, and you feel like they're not going to support, but then when you tell them your dreams, you feel like, oh, that's too hard, or oh, it ain't going to work out, or you should choose something else, or you doing that's lame, that's corny, like you'll get some negative feedback a lot of cases, and that's what happens when you have you know when you want to do anything that's outside of your range, like, yeah, if you grew up in the hood, for example, most likely, most people are going to want to be like a basketball player, an athlete, or a rapper, whatever. They want to be in entertainment, you know they want to be in the entertainer industry where they get paid a lot of money and they get me on TV and stuff like that. You know, so with poetry, like, it's very difficult for a lot for poets. If you're somebody who's you know into a poet, you know what I'm saying. Because you're choosing something that's considered a dead art form, by society. And then if you would tell if you tell it's considered a dead art form by most people's standards. And then if you tell people, that are, young and that are, they always think, oh, that's corny, or that's, lame, or whatever. So, you'll get pushback on both sides, from your parents and your friends, because it's something that's, not normal. It's something that's not the norm. So, I just want to do this video. Just, do this podcast to encourage you guys to not not let not let anybody hold you back from your dreams, like, because just because it's not cool, just because it's not popular, because at the end of the day, um you only got one life to live. Like, you only have one life to live, and so many people, we spend our whole lives trying to please people that don't, that 9 times out of 10 don't even like us. They don't know what we want to do. They don't know what they want to do with their life themselves. They just want you to, they just want you to do what they think is cool. What they think is, right for them. But they're not even doing anything. They're not even following their passion. You know. So, like, you gotta do you at the end of the day. Like, no matter what. And that's something that I had to deal with, because when you that's something I had to learn from, you know as I gotten older, because a lot of things that I done the last couple of months, couple of years, has been, gotten a lot of pushback, like going to open mics, going to my friend's church, who's, my friend, my white, who has to go to a white church. My mom didn't approve of that. You're gonna get a lot of, approval, even though, even if you are doing the right thing, even if you are doing something that's positive and something that's, of God. You're gonna get a lot of, you gonna get, you know, you might get some pushback, even from people who love you, people who mean well, like your parents, or your sibling, because it's something that, again, because when God tells you to do something, it's always gonna be something it's always gonna be see for controversy. It's always gonna be some hurdle to get through over, you know, no matter what the situation is, So don't let not having approval discourage you. Don't let doing what's unpopular discourage you just because it's not popular, just because nobody in your neighborhood, or nobody in your community is, has a college degree, nobody in community is an engineer, nobody in your community owns a business. don't let that discourage you because at the end of the day, I mean, this is it's your life. They can't they don't have no heaven and hell to put you in. They can't judge what you can and cannot do. Like it's your life. Forget what they said. Forget the haters. So I was gonna share this with my buddies at the know I'm on here. Alright. I wish I could turn my camera on so you guys can see my face while I'm doing this. Hold on. You see. Alright. Okay, well, this is the best I could do right now, but at least you guys can see my face. So you guys know it's me because I know some of you guys are wondering like why the heck I'm seeing your screen and not your face because usually sometimes I usually show my face when I do these podcasts. But yeah, back to what I was saying earlier. Like forget what people say. Forget the forget what what people say. As long as you're doing what's right, and as long as what you're doing is from God, then that's all that matters. Like Colossians 3:8 talks about this about you should you do works unto the Lord. Do your work unto the Lord. So like if you doing something, do it for God. Like period. You're not doing it for man. You're not doing it for a paycheck. You're doing it because you love God. That's why we work. That's why we live. We live to please the Lord, not please man. So you gotta remember that. If you're a Christian, then that should be your number one goal is to please God over anything. So I mean, I know it's gonna be hard. I know it's not always an easy thing to do, but then again, Christ had to die on the cross for us. Like, can you imagine dying on the cross for all of humanity? Can you imagine how much pushback he gotten during this era? Like, Jesus' parents, like Mary and Joseph, Jesus had to tell his mom that he was about his father's business. Like, can you imagine saying that to your parents? So I mean, like, you gotta know, what y'all called, and that's the only thing. One of the reasons why some people are being held back is because they don't know what they want. They don't know themselves. They don't have self awareness. That's why so many people, you know, don't follow their dreams or don't go through with their passions because they so basically listen to everybody else, but not listen to what's in here. Not listen to what's in here, and that's why I like Gary Vaynerchuk, because Gary Vaynerchuk, he's a prime example of somebody who didn't listen, who didn't follow the crowd, like he had bad grades, he was supposed to be a failure in life, but he ended up now he owns like $100 million company, he's inspiring people to follow their dreams and not listen to the narrative of society, like he was doing this in the 80s, and 90s when entrepreneurship wasn't cool and that really inspired me because he's somebody who always went against the grain. He never did what was popular or what everybody else told him he should do. He never did drugs. He never snuck out. Like he was basically a good kid, but he was just so focused on being an entrepreneur to where it 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 deterred him away from school. So that's something that's just someone who I just like really am just appreciative of because you know when you when you grow up in America, and especially when you're an immigrant, you have it hard because your parents expect so much of you. Your parents expect you to go to this school, go to a good college, get this, pick this, nice job, be a doctor, be a lawyer, whatever. And and that's great if you want to be do that, if you do want to do those things. But if you want to do something that's like outside of the outside the 4-year college, the white collar degree um, spectrum, you know, you gotta really know yourself. You gotta really know if this is what you really want to do. Like, you gotta really know if this is what you're called to do. Like, if you want to be an entertainer, want to be something that takes a lot of dedication, a lot of discipline to accomplish. Like, you gotta really have self awareness. Because so many times we want to do things that are we want to be in the limelight, want to do something that's flashy, that's cool, and whatever. But we gotta ask ourselves: is it something we are meant to do, or just something that we just see, or is it just something that we see other people doing? Like being a poet, even though I like poetry, most of my influences come from rappers. But I knew that being a rapper, it wasn't gonna be my route because as much as I love hip hop, as much as I love music, like with poetry, it's simple. I could get like 5 poems done in one day. I can recite them, memorize them, and bam. You know, with music, I gotta like put out music. It does take a lot of time. I mean, some people could put out music in a day, but like usually it takes you like at least 2, 3 days for the song comes any good. Writing a poem, we're doing spoken word. Basically, you just have to like recite the poem and then like put your own spin on it and whatever, and bam, like you don't even have to. It doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, it doesn't have to necessarily be perfectly edited. You just have to like recite it well and make it seem like it's perfectly edited. So that's why I like spoken word because it's 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 more about performance and less about being grammatically correct. So yeah, hopefully this podcast will inspire you guys and really encourage you guys to go against the grain, dare to be different. Do what you love. Don't let other people tell you what you should and should not do. Only let God tell you that. And if what you want to do doesn't work out, I mean, there's always something else along the way. Peter was a fisherman before he became a disciple of Christ, and he was doing that so well. So by the time he followed Christ, it was just like, okay, all right, I did this part of my life. Now, all right, you know, I already accomplished this section of my life. Now I go and follow Jesus. So yeah, so you just gotta be patient. You gotta be, disciplined, and you have to really be self-aware if you wanna achieve your dreams and not achieve your dreams and prove people wrong. So yeah. So anyway, with that being said, this is Mario signing off.